Welcome back to Who Died Today USA channel. In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you.
But what I'm really going to do is sing a song. And that's what he did. He just sang a song at the press conference.
It's unbelievable.
Our latest news involves a legendary figure in the world of television. And of course, if you've ever watched the Oscars, the Emmys, or even the Super Bowl halftime show, you've witnessed his genius without even knowing it. We're talking about the iconic Don Mischer. Do you recognize his name? On a scale from 0 to 10, how would you rate his impact on television history? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your opinion matters, especially when we're honoring someone who helped shape the very shows we love. Don Mischer, the Emmy-winning director and producer behind the world's biggest live TV events, passed away peacefully in his sleep on April 11, 2025, at the age of 85. He was just about to retire, yes, after more than 6 decades of work. His final show? The 2025 Breakthrough Prize ceremony, nicknamed the Oscars of Science, and Don went out just like he lived, with style, purpose, and a camera rolling. Born in San Antonio, Texas in 1940, Don's fascination with television began when he was just a kid. He once recalled being completely mesmerized by the lights, cameras, and energy of a local broadcast happening live inside a gym, an early encounter that planted the seed for a lifetime obsession. At first, Don thought he'd become a sociology professor, even earned both a bachelor's and master's degree. But fate had a different script. After JFK's assassination in 1963, Don was chosen as a runner for the journalists in Austin, covering Lyndon B. Johnson's ascent. Just hours into the experience, Don knew, "I'm going into television. That's it." And he never looked back. Don's resume reads like a highlight reel of American cultural milestones. The Super Bowl halftime shows with Michael Jackson, Prince, Paul McCartney, the Rolling Stones, and Bruce Springsteen. That was Don. The 1996 Olympic opening ceremony, where Muhammad Ali lit the torch. Don again. The Kennedy Center Honors, Obama's inaugural concert, Motown 25, where Michael Jackson moonwalked into history, the Emmy Awards, and 3 Oscar telecasts, all Don. Even specials like The Muppets Celebrate Jim Henson and Dolly, hosted by Dolly Parton herself, bore his signature. His work wasn't just grand, it was technically brilliant. One Super Bowl show involved setting up a 12-ton stage, lights, wind machines, and fireworks in under 4 minutes. His crew made it happen, with 12 seconds to spare. Despite directing nearly every major live event of his generation, Don always remained humble. "It's not brain surgery," he once said. "I just want to be remembered as someone who loved what he did, treated people well, and, once in a while, did something truly special." But of course, not everything went smoothly. He was once caught shouting, "Balloons! Balloons! What the f*** are you doing up there?" Live on CNN when a botched balloon drop ruined the finale of the 2004 Democratic Convention. The moment went viral, but Don later laughed about it. Another live TV battle scar. He worked with legends like Barbra Streisand, Robin Williams, Beyoncé, Eddie Murphy, Shirley MacLaine, Gene Kelly, and Bob Hope. And though he had offers to settle into a cushy series job, he always chose freedom, creativity, and adrenaline over predictability. "Why stay with one show," he said, "when I can direct Willie Nelson in March and Baryshnikov in May?" In 2023, Don published his memoir, 10 Seconds to Air, a behind-the-scenes look at the tension, the triumphs, and the truth of live television. He wrote candidly about the thrill of knowing 80% of the planet might be watching, and you only get one shot to get it right. He leaves behind his wife, Susan Reed, 4 children, Jennifer, Heather, Charles, and Lily, and 2 grandchildren, Everly and Tallulah. His legacy? Not just in awards, and there are many, including 15 Emmys, 10 DGA awards, a Peabody, and even a Hollywood Walk of Fame star, but in the memories we carry from the moments he helped create. From Prince singing Purple Rain in a literal downpour, to Muhammad Ali trembling as he lit the Olympic flame, Don Mischer was the man behind the magic. And now the stage has gone quiet, but the lights he lit will shine on forever. Did you know Don Mischer's name before today? Which of his unforgettable TV moments stayed with you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if this story moved you, press that like button. It's how we keep the memory alive. Jean Marsh was a beloved English actress and writer, born in London on July 1, 1934. She rose to international fame as the co-creator and star of the groundbreaking British television series Upstairs, Downstairs, where she portrayed the gentle yet resilient housemaid Rose Buck. The show, which explored class divides in early 20th century England, became a cultural phenomenon and earned Marsh an Emmy Award in 1975. Her portrayal of Rose captured the hearts of millions and cemented her legacy as one of Britain's most cherished television figures. Beyond her iconic television work, Marsh also appeared in acclaimed films such as Return to Oz and Willow, often embracing dark, complex roles that showcased her versatility. She began acting in the 1950s and never shied away from roles that challenged societal expectations, drawing inspiration from her own working-class roots. Tragically, Jean Marsh passed away on April 13, 2025, at the age of 90 at her home in London. Her death was caused by complications from dementia, a condition she had battled in her later years. Her passing marks the end of a remarkable life devoted to the arts, leaving behind a powerful legacy of creativity, strength, and enduring impact on stage and screen. Jesse Colin Young was a legendary American singer-songwriter, best known as the frontman of the iconic 1960s rock band, the Youngbloods. He achieved worldwide acclaim with the band's signature song, Get Together, a timeless anthem that became synonymous with the peace and love movement of the Woodstock era. The song's powerful call for unity resonated deeply during a time of political and social upheaval, establishing Young as a voice of his generation. In addition to Get Together, he was also known for beloved songs like Sunlight, Darkness, Darkness, and Peace Song. Born Perry Miller in Queens, New York, in 1941, Young studied classical guitar and was deeply influenced by the folk, jazz, and blues scenes of the 1960s. After forming the Youngbloods, he helped shape a unique sound that blended genres and carried messages of hope and activism. Following the group's breakup in 1972, Young pursued a solo career and became a dedicated environmental and social advocate. Tragically, Jesse Colin Young passed away at his home in Aiken, South Carolina on March 16, 2025, at the age of 83. His passing was confirmed by his representatives, though a specific cause of death was not disclosed. His legacy lives on through his music, which continues to inspire calls for compassion, peace, and unity. Alice Tan Ridley was a powerful American singer whose unforgettable voice and inspiring life story touched hearts across the nation. Born on December 21, 1952, in Charles Junction, Georgia, she was the seventh of 8 children in a close-knit family. After graduating from Stewart County High School, she moved to New York City, where she worked as a special education aide while raising her 2 children, including Oscar-nominated actress Gabourey Sidibe. Though she began her music journey by singing in subway stations and on street corners, Ridley's talent could not go unnoticed. Her breakthrough came in 2010 when she captivated audiences across America with her performance of At Last on America's Got Talent, earning standing ovations and advancing to the semifinals. Known for her soaring renditions of songs like I Will Survive and My Heart Will Go On, she brought joy to countless commuters for over 3 decades, becoming a fixture in New York's Music Under New York program. In addition to her AGT success, Ridley appeared on Showtime at the Apollo, featured in the acclaimed documentary Rise, and won an Emmy for her role in the 2007 documentary Military Families. She released her debut album, Never Lost My Way, in 2016. Tragically, Alice Tan Ridley passed away on March 25, 2025, in New York City at the age of 72. Though her cause of death was not publicly disclosed, her passing left a deep void in the hearts of those who witnessed her talent and spirit. She leaves behind a legacy of resilience, authenticity, and a voice that lifted souls. Stedman Pearson, the smooth-moving showman behind some of Britain's most beloved pop anthems of the 1980s, passed away on March 10, 2025, at the age of 60, following a long period of kidney-related illness that required dialysis. As the eldest sibling of the 5-star family group, Stedman helped shape the look, sound, and energy of a band often called the UK's answer to the Jackson 5. Born in Romford, Essex, and guided by the musical vision of his father Buster Pearson, Stedman and his siblings, Denise, Lorraine, Doris, and Delroy, took the world by storm with hits like System Addict, Rain or Shine, and Let Me Be the One. Their glittering costumes and tight synchronized choreography made them icons of an era, culminating in a Brit Award for Best British Group in 1987. Stedman's gift for performance extended beyond the spotlight. After 5-Star's original run, he stayed connected to entertainment as a choreographer, dance instructor, and even a limousine business owner. He returned to the public eye in 2006 on Channel 5's All-Star Talent Show, where he placed 3rd, reminding audiences of his vibrant stage presence and enduring charisma. Despite his health challenges in later years, Stedman remained the heart of his family and a beacon of joy to fans who grew up with his music. His family remembered him as a gentleman through and through, graceful, generous, and deeply loved. Stedman Pearson's legacy lives on in the timeless tracks that still bring people to their feet and in the warmth he shared with those lucky enough to know him. He will be remembered not just as a pop star, but as a cherished part of music history.
And says, this is where the magic is happening. The real trick is happening somewhere else. Misdirection, a basic concept.
Breaking news. Our next story focuses on a Hollywood legend whose voice has become synonymous with wisdom and power. And of course, you know him. We're talking about Morgan Freeman, a name that instantly commands respect. But how well do you know the man behind the voice? From 0 to 10, how would you rate his impact on the world of entertainment? Tell us in the comments. We welcome your thoughts and tributes to this unforgettable figure. Morgan Freeman is more than an actor. He is an institution, a narrator of our cultural journey, and a man whose voice alone has brought calm, strength, and a sense of timelessness to millions. With iconic roles in films like The Shawshank Redemption, Driving Miss Daisy, and $1 Million Baby, Freeman's work has touched every corner of the human experience. But his path has not been easy, and behind that calm voice lies a life of resilience, personal battles, and unwavering determination. Born on June 1, 1937, in Memphis, Tennessee, Freeman grew up in a world where opportunities for young black men were limited and often painfully out of reach. Raised by working-class parents and later his grandmother, Freeman moved often and faced the emotional turmoil of a broken home. As a child, he dreamed of becoming a pilot, not an actor, and joined the U.S. Air Force, only to realize that the reality of military life was far different from what he had imagined. His role was not in the cockpit, but as a ground technician. It was a crushing blow, but one that nudged him back toward his true passion: acting. After leaving the military, Freeman studied theater in Los Angeles, performed in off-Broadway plays, and gradually built his reputation. He earned recognition on children's television with the Electric Company, but he never considered TV to be the true expression of his talent. For years, Freeman toiled in underappreciated roles, often cast as background characters, rarely offered the spotlight. But he kept going. It wasn't until his breakout role in Street Smart, 1987, at nearly 50 years old, that Hollywood finally took notice. Freeman received his first Academy Award nomination for that role. 2 years later, he won Hearts Around the World as the wise chauffeur in Driving Miss Daisy, earning his first Oscar win. From that moment on, Morgan Freeman became a household name, his deep voice and dignified presence lending weight to every performance. But even as his fame grew, so did the challenges. In 2008, Freeman was involved in a devastating car accident that left him with permanent nerve damage in his left hand. The injury severely limited his movement and introduced him to chronic pain, something he would later reveal as fibromyalgia, a condition that causes widespread muscular pain and fatigue. He spoke candidly about the struggle of dealing with constant pain, especially as an actor who relied on physical expression. Yet, as always, Freeman adapted. He adjusted his roles, focused more on voice work, and kept moving forward, a true testament to resilience. His voice, dubbed one of the most beloved in America, became even more vital to his career. Whether narrating March of the Penguins, hosting The Story of God, or lending gravitas to documentaries and political campaigns, Freeman used his vocal gift to uplift and inform. His presence brought depth and trust to every project. In fact, his voice became so iconic that it was even used in GPS systems, guiding people, quite literally, through life. Still, life behind the scenes wasn't always smooth. In 2018, Freeman faced allegations of inappropriate behavior from several women. The accusations were serious, and Freeman responded publicly, expressing regret if he had made anyone uncomfortable, and strongly denying any intent to harm or disrespect. The controversy cast a temporary shadow over his reputation, but many industry colleagues stood by him, citing decades of professional integrity and mutual respect. Freeman's career continued, albeit with fewer public appearances, and his legacy, though complicated, remained largely intact. Now in his late 80s, Morgan Freeman has slowed down, but his impact hasn't diminished. He continues to appear in select film projects, participates in philanthropic work, and remains a respected elder in the entertainment world. He co-founded Revelations Entertainment, a production company committed to telling meaningful stories that spark conversation and social change. Despite physical pain and public scrutiny, Freeman remains active, both mentally and creatively. He has spoken openly about the importance of staying engaged, the power of storytelling, and the need to find purpose in every phase of life. When asked about retirement, he often responds with a chuckle and a shake of the head, because for Morgan Freeman, storytelling is not a job, it's a calling. And perhaps that's what makes him so beloved. Freeman's journey reminds us that greatness doesn't always come early or easily. Sometimes it's the long road, marked with setbacks, pain, and perseverance, that shapes a legacy. His roles have taught us empathy, justice, patience, and inner strength. And through it all, Freeman has remained authentic, grounded, and enduring. So what's next for Morgan Freeman? He may not take on as many roles as before, but his influence remains powerful. He is a voice of calm in chaotic times, a reminder that grace, intellect, and humility can thrive even in an industry built on fame and ego. Whether narrating a new documentary, mentoring young artists, or quietly supporting causes he believes in, Freeman continues to lead with purpose. And now we turn it over to you. What do you think of Morgan Freeman's remarkable journey? How has his work touched your life or changed the way you see the world? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you believe his story should be remembered, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's continue to honor the legends who shaped our hearts and screens. Thank you, Morgan Freeman, for your unwavering spirit, your unforgettable voice, and your timeless legacy. You have shown us that greatness isn't about being perfect. It's about rising every time life tries to knock you down. Do you remember Kate and Allie, that smart, heartfelt sitcom about friendship, family, and resilience? Behind its creation stood Sherry Coben, a visionary writer and producer who helped shape the television landscape of the 1980s. On October 16, 2024, Sherry passed away at age 71 at her home in New Milford, New Jersey, after a courageous battle with cancer. Though her voice has quieted, her impact still echoes across generations of viewers and storytellers. Born with a passion for art and language, Sherry began her career designing graphics and sets at KYW-TV in Philadelphia before transitioning into writing. Her breakthrough came when she penned scripts for NBC's Hot Hero Sandwich, a children's program that earned her a Daytime Emmy. From there, her star only rose. In 1984, Sherry created Kate and Allie, a groundbreaking CBS series that starred Jane Curtin and Susan St. James as two divorced mothers navigating modern life together. The show resonated deeply with audiences, running for 6 successful seasons and earning critical acclaim for its sharp writing and warm humor. She later brought her talents to the CBS children's series Bailey Kipper's POV, and created the web series Little Women, Big Cars, always staying ahead of the curve in a changing media world. But perhaps just as significant as her TV credits was her commitment to mentoring young writers and artists, generously offering guidance and encouragement to the next generation. Sherry's life was one of creativity, generosity, and quiet strength. Her stories uplifted, challenged, and reflected the complexities of real life. Through every script, every scene, and every writer she championed, Sherry Coben left behind a legacy of heart, humor, and humanity. Brian James, the British guitarist who helped ignite the punk explosion of the 1970s, passed away on March 6, 2025, at the age of 70, following complications related to cancer. For music lovers around the world, especially those who lived through the raw electric energy of punk's first wave, his name carries the weight of true artistic rebellion. Born in London in 1955, James found his calling not just in playing the guitar, but in shaking up the entire soundscape of British rock. As the founding guitarist and principal songwriter of The Damned, he wrote New Rose, widely regarded as the first punk single ever released in the UK. That track, and the band's groundbreaking debut album Damned, 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 helped define the attitude, energy, and DIY spirit of a generation. After leaving The Damned, James refused to slow down. He formed the Lords of the New Church with Stiv Bators, blending punk with gothic and post-punk elements, further expanding his musical legacy. Over the decades, he collaborated with the likes of Iggy Pop and continued to perform and record, always pushing creative boundaries while honoring his punk roots. Despite his musical triumphs, Brian James also battled health issues in later years, facing cancer with strength and resilience. Through it all, he remained connected to his music and his fans, often recalling the thrill of the early days with humility and pride. His legacy lives on in every raw guitar riff and rebellious lyric that echoes from punk stages today. Brian James wasn't just part of music history, he helped write the loudest, boldest chapter of it.
I don't believe you. You know what happens.
Let me tell you a story about a woman whose voice could quiet a room and whose presence lingered long after the curtain fell. Her name was Barbara Leigh-Hunt, and for more than 70 years, she brought life to the stage and soul to the screen. Born on December 14, 1935, in the gentle hills of Bath, England, Barbara stepped into the world of acting with the grace of someone born to it. She made her debut with the Old Vic Theatre, and from there, her journey swept across Shakespearean stages, from London's West End to the lights of Broadway. She was elegance personified. On screen, American audiences may remember her as the proud and biting Lady Catherine de Bourgh in the BBC's Pride and Prejudice, or perhaps from Alfred Hitchcock's Haunting Frenzy, where her performance left a mark so deep it's still talked about today. But Barbara was never one to chase the spotlight. Instead, she let the work speak for her. And it did. In 1993, her quiet power earned her the Olivier Award for An Inspector Calls, a role that captured everything she was as an actress: precise, layered, and unforgettable. On September 16, 2024, Barbara passed peacefully at home in Warwickshire, surrounded by the memory of a life well lived. She was 88. Though gone from the stage, her legacy whispers through every role she touched, every line she delivered with thought and feeling. Barbara Leigh-Hunt didn't just perform, she illuminated. And for those of us who watched, we'll always carry a little of her light.
By that point, and my character, not to do a spoiler, seems like just a nerdy guy, but he turns out to be...
Robert Trebor was a gifted American character actor, best known for his memorable role as the witty and opportunistic merchant Salmoneus in the 1990s fantasy series Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, and Xena, Warrior Princess. With his sharp comedic timing and expressive energy, Trebor became a fan favorite across both shows, transforming what was originally a minor role into one so beloved that it inspired an action figure and appearances at fan conventions worldwide. His portrayal gave depth and humor to the mythological world and earned him recognition far beyond genre audiences. Born Robert Allen Schenkman on June 7, 1953, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he began performing in New York after graduating from Northwestern University in 1975. He earned critical praise early in his career for his chilling portrayal of David Berkowitz in the 1985 CBS TV film Out of the Darkness, opposite Martin Sheen. His film credits also include 52 Pickup, Talk Radio, and the Coen brothers' Hail Caesar, 2016, which was his final screen role. Tragically, Trebor passed away on March 11, 2025, at the age of 71 due to complications from sepsis following a long battle with leukemia, which he was diagnosed with in 2012. Despite his illness, he continued contributing to the arts as a writer, publishing 2 books and performing in meaningful stage works, including Stories from the Violins of Hope. Trebor's life was marked by intelligence, creativity, and warmth, leaving behind a legacy that touched fans, colleagues, and audiences around the world.
And as for your teeth and eating candy, you wait and see. Nellie and Willie are going to have bad ones in a few years. You fetch some water for the dishes.
Jack Lilly was a quiet giant of Hollywood's golden era of westerns, a stuntman, actor, and mentor whose rugged grace and humble heart left an unforgettable mark across generations of film and television. Born on August 15, 1933, in Hughes Springs, Texas, Jack was raised among horses and movie sets, following in the footsteps of his father, who once rented horses to the studios of early Hollywood. That passion never left him. From humble beginnings wrangling horses to becoming a stunt double for Victor French and the stunt coordinator for Little House on the Prairie, Jack was there for every episode across 9 seasons. He was not just part of the show, he was its heartbeat behind the scenes. His work with Michael Landon extended to Bonanza, Father Murphy, and beyond. On screen, he rode wagons, galloped across dusty plains, and sometimes found himself submerged in mud, literally, as in Blazing Saddles, where a stunt gone wrong turned into movie magic. Over his 50-year career, Jack contributed to over 280 productions, including Young Guns, Sudden Impact, Army of Darkness, and The Legend of Zorro. He was also a gifted animal trainer and the founder of Movin' On Livestock, a business his family continues to run today. Jack spent his final years in the care of the motion picture and television country house and hospital in Woodland Hills, where he battled Alzheimer's disease. He passed away peacefully on March 19, 2025, at the age of 91. Those who knew Jack remember his warmth, his laughter, and the way his eyes lit up around family. His legacy lives on, not just in film reels and photographs, but in the lives of those he taught, inspired, and rode alongside.
Des amis qui avaient des choses à m'apporter sur d'autres plans et qui peut-être prenaient plus au sérieux que moi les études.
Lucien Francoeur was a true original, a poet, musician, performer, and cultural icon who gave voice to a generation of dreamers, rebels, and artists in Quebec and beyond. Born on September 9, 1948 in Montreal, Francoeur became a household name not only through his music, but also through his evocative poetry and fearless spirit that transcended boundaries. In the 1970s, he founded the groundbreaking rock group Outchos, known for its gritty lyrics and raw energy. With hits like Prends une chance avec Moët, Francoeur brought together the poetry of the streets and the electricity of rock and roll. His stage presence was magnetic, his voice unforgettable, and soon he was hailed as one of Quebec's founding fathers of underground rock. His literary accomplishments were equally powerful. With over 30 published books, he received the prestigious Prix Émile Nelligan in 1983 for Les Rockeurs Sanctifiés, a collection that blended lyrical beauty with punk sensibility. But Francoeur's journey was not without trials. He openly spoke about the darker chapters of his life and how the birth of his daughter gave him the courage to embrace a new path forward. His personal strength became part of the mythos that surrounded him, not as a man untouched by struggle, but one who chose to rise above it. Lucien Francoeur passed away peacefully on November 5, 2024, at the age of 76, due to complications related to a heart condition. His legacy, however, lives on, not only through his music and poetry, but also in the spirit of young artists who continue to find freedom in his words and rhythm. How do you remember Lucien Francoeur? Share your thoughts below. His story is ours to keep telling. Graham Blythe was a pioneering British sound engineer and organist whose contributions shaped the very sound of live music and performance for generations. Born in 1948 and raised in England, Blythe's love for music began early, first as a classically trained organist and later as a visionary audio engineer whose innovations transformed the professional sound landscape. In 1973, Blythe co-founded Soundcraft Electronics, a company that quickly became synonymous with excellence in mixing console technology. Under his technical direction, Soundcraft introduced some of the most iconic soundboards used in touring, theater, and studio production. These consoles did more than deliver audio. They carried the emotion of live performances, the clarity of recorded speech, and the warmth of countless musical moments into the hearts of listeners worldwide. Alongside his engineering work, Blyth was a gifted concert organist. He performed at renowned venues across Europe and the United States, bringing depth, elegance, and spirituality to his interpretations. His dual identity, as both a builder of sound and a bearer of it, set him apart, marrying precision with poetry in everything he touched. In his later years, Blyth faced a quiet but profound health battle. Diagnosed with dementia, he gradually stepped away from public performance and engineering work. On October 22, 2024, he passed away peacefully at the age of 76, surrounded by family in Warwickshire, England. His daughter announced the news, remembering not just his brilliance, but his warmth and curiosity. Graham Blyth leaves behind more than a resume. He leaves behind a legacy of craftsmanship, creativity, and soul. Whether through the sound of a well-mixed concert or the soaring tones of a pipe organ, his work lives on in the harmony of our lives.
That whistle. Good morning, children.
Breaking news. Our latest story involves one of the most iconic and outspoken women in Hollywood. And of course, you know her. We're talking about Whoopi Goldberg. Do you like the actress and TV personality? From 0 to 10, what grade would you give her for her performances and contributions to the industry? Let us know in the comments. Your opinion is important, and we welcome every tribute to this unforgettable legend. Whoopi Goldberg is not just an actress, she's a cultural force. From the moment she stepped into the spotlight with her unforgettable performance as Celie in The Color Purple, 1985, Whoopi proved she was more than just another face in Hollywood. That role earned her an Academy Award nomination and launched her into global fame. But did you know that behind the scenes, Whoopi's life has been filled with unexpected twists, serious health scares, and personal challenges that demanded the same strength her characters so often portrayed? Born Karen Elaine Johnson on November 13, 1955 in New York City, Whoopi's road to success wasn't paved with red carpets. She grew up in a housing project, dropped out of school at 17, battled addiction, and even experienced homelessness before rising to stardom. Her transformation from a struggling artist to an Oscar, Emmy, Grammy, and Tony Award winner, that's right, she's an EGOT, is nothing short of legendary. And let's talk about that Oscar. Whoopi became the first Black woman in nearly 50 years to win an Academy Award for acting when she took home the Best Supporting Actress trophy for her hilarious and heartfelt role as Oda Mae Brown in Ghost, 1990. That moment made history and made her only the second Black woman ever to win an Oscar for acting. Think about that. But while her comedic genius in Sister Act and dramatic power in The Color Purple won her global fame, Whoopi never stopped evolving. She shifted into television, becoming a fixture on The View, where she hasn't just co-hosted, she's challenged. She sparked national conversations on race, gender, politics, and human rights. Whether you agree with her or not, there's no denying that Whoopi speaks her mind, and millions have come to respect her raw honesty and unwavering convictions. Yet even legends face battles of their own. In recent years, Whoopi has quietly struggled with serious health challenges, especially related to COVID-19. Not once, not twice, but 4 times she tested positive for the virus, each time forcing her to take time off from The View. In her own words, the repeated battles were exhausting and frightening. But she's returned each time with her signature wit, reminding viewers not only to stay vigilant, but to get vaccinated, protect others, and never take health for granted. And here's something few people know. Whoopi's resilience isn't just about overcoming illness or breaking barriers in showbiz. it's also about redefining what it means to be a woman in control. She's been candid about not wanting to get married again, about not living by traditional societal expectations, and about building a life entirely on her own terms. Besides acting in talk shows, Whoopi has been busy behind the camera, running her own production company, CWG Films, creating content that reflects her diverse interests, especially stories that uplift marginalized voices. She's also written books, launched wellness products, and remained a powerful advocate for LGBTQ+ rights and racial justice. But being a public figure with strong opinions isn't easy. Whoopi has faced backlash and suspensions on The View for controversial statements. And while some moments have brought criticism, she has always returned, apologized when necessary, and stood by her principles. That's Whoopi, fearless, flawed, and fiercely human. So, where is Whoopi now? Back on The View, stronger than ever, still shaping national dialogue, still making people laugh and think in equal measure. She may not be headlining major Hollywood blockbusters like she did in the 90s, but her impact is deeper and broader than ever. And as we reflect on her journey, from the streets of New York to global superstardom, one thing becomes clear. Whoopi Goldberg's story is one of sheer grit, talent, and authenticity. She didn't just break the mold, she shattered it and built a new one. So now we ask you, what has Whoopi Goldberg meant to you? How has her work, her voice, or her courage impacted your life? Tell us in the comments. And if her story inspired you today, don't forget to give this video a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to keep celebrating the icons who continue to shape our world, like the one and only Whoopi Goldberg.